Good morning, everybody. This is Meredith from Becoming Ridiculously Awesome. The reason I wanted to talk to you today about phobias is because it is so prevalent in our world and it doesn't actually need to be there. So let's get into what I'm going to be discussing. We are going to be going over what phobias are, how we got them, how to eliminate them. And it is actually very simple. And it doesn't need thousands of dollars and years of therapy to do it. So let's get into it. Number one, how did we get them? Actually, instead I'm going to say what they are. If you already have one, you know what it is. You know that when you experience this overarching fear, this debilitating experience, you can't do anything else but other than experience this fear, and it can overtake your life. Maybe you're afraid of airplanes, maybe it's spiders. There's a phobia for absolutely everything, and I used to have one, and it was completely debilitating. I was completely afraid of spiders. Didn't matter the size, shape, color, if I saw it on a camera, if I saw it in a photo, on National Geographic. It didn't really matter, but I would just experience this full body panic, and it was horrible. So once I learned how to eliminate the fear and this phobia, I have been fine with spiders ever since. Of course, I don't love them. They will never be my pets or anything, but I can actually enjoy watching them and be okay. So if you have that phobia or any other phobia, I'm really sorry that you have one, because I really understand what it's like. So now that we know a little bit more about what phobias are, let's see how we got them. And that is actually really crucial to understanding how we eliminate them. So this phobia that you may or may not have, or you know that someone else has, it is actually a full-blown response to an experience that you have had, or maybe you have watched someone else experience, and like a parent or a friend or anyone close to you that you probably care about, like a parent. The reason a phobia has been installed in our system is it is an effort to solve a problem, an effort to survive, to keep ourselves safe, or actually even to keep someone else safe. So what I mean by that is, in effort to say I love you, we will sometimes grab onto someone else's experience and try and fix it for them. And we file it away in our little brains and our bodies, and we say, whenever we see that come up in our lives or somebody else's life, say spiders, just because that was mine, and yours can of course be whatever it is. But what happens is, when we say you see a spider, you go, oh my goodness, I have to save that person, or save that from that person's experience from long ago and far away. And we make that choice to solve that problem. And what's crazy about the brain, it's wonderful but crazy at the same time, is when we have that imprint from long ago and far away, maybe we were 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and we've seen someone else have that experience, or we've had that experience ourselves, or we have this huge spider experience, we file it away and we say, what is the best choice to react, to keep safe, to survive in that experience, in that moment? And then we go, and it's so fast, and we go, boom. And all those selections and choices are bundled up and stored away for the next time that experience might happen again. It is an effort always to stay safe, to be alive, to be safe and loved in our families, because we want to survive our families as well while growing up. We're learning the ropes. And so it's all an effort to survive. So this kind of gets us into how to eliminate it. Ask yourself, if you have a phobia, ask yourself, when did it start? Let's close your eyes for a moment and maybe take a breath and just kind of float back in time and just think, hey, when did I have it? Or how long have I had it? And just go, all right, grow yourself younger perhaps and say, all right, maybe when I was a teenager, did I still have it? Yep, still have it. And grow yourself younger till maybe 10 or 9 years old or 8 years old or even younger. And grow yourself until you get into an experience where you haven't had that feeling before, okay? And then when you can kind of pinpoint that time, then I would suggest you, if you can, maybe put plexiglass in front of you, maybe imagine turning that image black and white. Use some different tools to have that actually be able to look at that experience and see what's going on. When you're able to do that and you sit back in your chair and you look at that experience in front of you, not you experiencing it now, but maybe just in front of you, you can untangle what exactly was happening in that experience. Were you the person who had the experience, or was it somebody else? What were all these circumstances? Was it actually insurmountable? And maybe if you can pull that timeline apart and look at it piece by piece, you'll be able to, a little bit more objectively, look at what was going on, okay? And doing that and adding a little bit more objectivity will be able to help you pinpoint all those choices, or at least some of those choices on your own, on what was going on. When you're able to do that, you can even challenge those choices that you made. Let me give you the example of my spider story. I literally had a serious full-blown phobia. I would see a spider, let's say the size of the tip of my pen, and I would maybe start to sweat. I would start to back away. I would just freak out, okay? And it was something that I felt I could not control. And I will tell you, I would go on National Geographic. I would watch Arachnophobia. I would do everything I could to solve this problem, and it wasn't working. So when I was able to pull apart that experience, I went back to the age of maybe being 5 or 6, and my mom was freaking out about spiders. And my dad would try and help her, and she would be pointing in the corner and say, I am freaking out this spider, you have to save me, essentially. And so there's this funny thing that actually we do when we're kids, is that in effort to say I love you and to not make my mom wrong, I decided to I made this choice to be afraid of spiders too, because somehow here it was, in all its glory, that my mom was freaking out about spiders. And so our parents, when they were teaching us and guiding us as we were growing up, basically what they say, we tend to say okay to, because surely they're keeping us safe and alive. So we will choose that sometimes too. So I made that choice to be afraid as well. So as I'm going through this challenging now of, do I have to have this phobia? And now I know that long ago and far away, I had this experience and this witnessing of my mom having this fear, and that I chose it too. I now can challenge it and say, do I need to have this fear? Will my mom be okay if I don't have this fear too? Well, sure, she's going to be okay because she already has this fear, and she will be already doing what she's doing. And I don't necessarily need to take that on for myself, because no matter what I do, she's going to still be running her story and her thing. And that's okay. I will still have a strong and wonderful relationship with my mother if I don't necessarily grab onto that, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm challenging now our choices back then and offering new solutions, so that kind of back then we can kind of start a new story and we can create some new grooves and some new options for our system to grab onto now, so that we cannot necessarily have to have that phobia anymore. Okay? So what I do ask you to do is to look at our phobias, look at them and see when they started. Look at what your responses were, and if you necessarily need to have them anymore, and to maybe offer some new options into your system, and going over and over a few times to see if you need to have them anymore, and maybe be able to lay some of those choices down and maybe pick some new choices up. I hope this has been helpful. This is just a start to opening your eyes into how to eliminate phobias for yourself. To find out more, please go to ROIExperience/blogs to read more about this blog that I've written about for eliminating your phobias. And also go to my website and look further at other blogs and see how I can further help you. If you need further help, please write me, call me. I am here for you. It's ROIExperience.com. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk soon.